Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a minute, but I'm ready to get on with this R230 swap. So I've collected a few more parts just to see how they go. So these ones with the spacers on them are the Z32 axles. So there's two of them, a long one and a short one, and they're 32 spline on the hub end. And these ones without the spacers are 350Z axles. So they're 29 spline on the hub end. So if you're planning on using 4-stud hubs or stock R32 or R33 hubs, you'll have to run the 350Z axles, I think. But if you're like me and you're going to run Z32 hubs or GDS4 or GDR hubs, then you can run the 300ZX axles. They're roughly, there's a bit of difference in it. Like this flange is only 10mm versus this flange being 14mm. So there's a bit of a difference there. But dimensionally it's all the same. Hull's the same size. Except this is a clearance hole and this is a tapped hole. So you'll have to feed through the diff and screw into a 300ZX axle. But on a 350Z axle, it'll be nut and bolted together, much like a 33 or a 32 variant is. So I'll show you. So this is a 300ZX axle. And this is and you can see this is a 4-stud hub. So if we flip him over, ZX axle goes into the 4-stud hub. But if we get a 350Z axle, it doesn't come anywhere near going in. It's way too large a diameter. So yeah, if you're gonna run your stock R32, or even if you're gonna put some offset spacers and run an R33 cradle or an S14-15 cradle in your R32 or S13, you'll have to run the 350Z axles. So this is cross member as it comes out of the 33. I've got another one, but I wanted to use this one because the other one I found, the other one has a front LCA position up higher like a 32 one, so it doesn't have the anti-squat that I'd like to get. So I'm going to reuse this one in the 33. I'm going to use the other one in the 32 because the R32 is really like that. So I just want a nice street carrier out of the R32. But with the R33, I think it's going to try and take the 1,000 or so newton meters of the Barra. So this one will be better for traction. Front bush is already broken, which is pretty common. But the rest of it's intact. So we'll have to make cradle risers for it. And then what I've come up with for the back, because you can see that the bolt centers are much larger on an R230 versus an R33. So I'm gonna push these bushes out and I've laser cut these plates. So it's just got a slotted hole from the center outwards. So if we put them in, I'm gonna weld them in like so, but on the inside, bolt them to the diff and then slide them in into the housings and then tack them in place, and then it should allow me to run the R230 bolt holes on the outside edge, so one of them in each. And then once I've got that in, finish welding. See, it's not fully welded on the factory cross member. Weld all them up, and then I've got this 2mm plate that I'm gonna throw it over the top, and then we'll have to do a bit of a bevel, and then we'll just do a bead around it to try and box the hole back in, so try and stop all the torque trying to crack this part of the cross member. Then for the front, I was going to cut and shut the Z32 front, but I think because I'm going to do two of them now, I'm just going to cut the whole thing out and we're just going to bend the tubes. I've bought this tube bender for the job as well. This is the size tube we're going to use, 25 normal bore, which is roughly the same size as this cross member. So we're just going to cap the ends, and then bend a tube and have two bosses instead of this sort of arrangement, and so I can bolt it through the bottom and locate the diff that way, and then I can set the pinion angle and tack it all together. Nice to get about bracing through here. But yeah, so I think first things first, we'll have to machine a few parts. I think I've got some 40mm black bar, and I want to machine some pins, so when I make this jig I can locate all 4 points, so when I cut it, it doesn't shrink. It'll guarantee me getting it back in the car. And then obviously we'll have to make some cradle risers, and then I've got some RHS, so we'll have to make this frame for the jig just so it all stays true while we cut it all apart and weld it all back together. So we'll get started with that. Alright, now that we've got the saw set up with the 40mm black bar, we're just going to cut 4 sections at 75mm long, and then we'll start machining them up. Right, now that we've got the pins cut, we're just going to machine down about 32 to a diameter of 21, and then tap the end, and then we should be able to slide it up into our risers that we make and use it as a locator. There you go, now we just got to drill it and she's ready to use. So there's been a slight change of plans. My tap was snapped, so I ended up just drilling 30mm holes and welding an M12 nut on it, and then linishing it down so it was beneath the 21mm, so it still fits really good. Yeah, so I've cut the SHS now, and then I've just tacked the front one centered on my bench, just tacked it onto the bench just so it won't go anywhere, because it's actually, the cross member is actually pretty heavy. But what I'm thinking is obviously we'll center the back one, level it up, well, put these in the bottom, level it up so it's 0 degrees this way and 0 degrees that way, measure what stand-ups I got to do, and then what I was thinking is I was gonna, instead of running straight braces, I'll notch these in so that in the future I can pick up the suspension points in case I want to manipulate that in the future. So then I can just weld on, machine up some pins and then weld on some brackets, and then cut all these off and sit them where I want them, or weld adjustable ones on. So this is my 34 cross member, my 33 cross member still down there. For some reason it's got the front bracket up higher than the cross member. Usually they're pretty much in line, so this is sort of like a 32 style with the anti-squat setting. So, but it's got 4 good bushes in it, so we're going to use this one to make the jig. So we managed to get the front bar in on the pins, so it's all locked down, and we tacked it to the bench. And we've got the back in, the standoff, 65 by 65 by 5mm plate into the back pins, and then we centered that up in the bench, so the center of the bench is the center of the cross member at the moment, both sides, so it's all not too bad. It's got a bit of a rock in it, but so we're at, what's that, 0.2 degrees on the back, 0.4 on, 0.39 on the front, and I suppose 0.4, so less than half a degree anywhere, so that's pretty good. Now we just got to cut these side pieces and tack them in. So I'll get that going now, and then the jigger will be all boxed up. Now we got the braces tacked in both sides, so it's very easy in the future if I want to pick up the suspension points and move them around. So now all we really got to do is weld it together, and then the jig's good as done. So the next thing we have to machine is whatever we're going to use to attach the front diff mount to our bent tube cross member that we're planning on making. So usually on the top it has this bonded steel washer. It's pretty soft rubber, but I think I'll get away with that, and I'll just get some more of the 40mm solid and machine this recess in it, and then tap it, and then machine a step in it so I can just weld it as a bung inside the tube, and then I can notch this tube into our other cross member. On the bottom I think I'll just laser cut a washer for it, and that'll be that. Use this M12x70 button head cap screw, and then we should have enough thread engagement in here to stop it vibrating loose. It already has a rubber bush inside of it, but I think we'll just keep that and build a bit on the top and run a big compensating plate on the bottom, and we should be good. So we'll get going on that. So I've cut the 40mm black now, and I've cut some short lengths of tube, and just, I don't know if you can see that, but I've die grinded the seam out of it. See the seam in it, but cleaned it all up. So what I'm thinking, machine a step down so the tube slides into it, and then machine this side with the counter bore so it sits over that pin, and then we'll weld these two together and tap an M12 thread through the middle of it, and we can bolt it all on. And then because it's tube, we can just do a tube to tube connection on the top. Alright guys, so finished machining the bosses. So yep, so 12mm step on the inside and a shoulder on the outside for the tube. So we can just do a fillet weld around the outside, and then when it comes into tying it into the main cross hoop, should be pretty easy. We can just notch them at whatever height we need them and then tie them in. So that's the front mounts done. So now we can move on to the cradle risers. Alright, I managed to find an old drawing from when I did it in 2013. So we need 70mm long and 70.5 diameter. I'm going to make cradle risers. So if you haven't seen cradle risers before, what they basically do is you push these bushes out, and you put new ones in from the bottom. But what you aim to do with the cradle riser is bring it up to the top of the cup. So all this, so on a 34 we would actually lift the cross member roughly 22mm in the car. Brings it all up, which means it fixes some of our geometry when we lower the cars. So yeah, 22mm in the front. It should be the same in the back. So yeah, it's roughly the same in the back. 23, so 22, 23. So we'll be able to fit the cross member in the car 22mm higher, and that will, at the height we will have, we'll be able to adjust the angle of the arms and fix some of our traction problems. So I actually need to cut 8 of them, so I've got 2 meters of 75mm solid round aluminium, and we'll cut them up now so we can start machining them. So I've got all my material for the risers cut. So the first step will be to hold it in the chuck like so. We'll center drill it and then face the end flat, and then machine it down to 71.5 because that's the widest diameter for the shoulder, put the seat into, and then we'll do all that for all of them, and then we'll come back and do the second step. Yeah, there we got all of the machine on the first step. We're going to turn it around, hold it on the machine side, and then we're going to machine this shoulder into it and face it to tree length, and then put a center drill marking in it so we can drill it through. After a bit of effort today, we've pretty much almost finished the riser. We just got to put a chamfer on this edge, chamfer that, and then cut the chamfer on the base, and then that's our riser's finished. But I think that's all we'll get to today. In the next installment, I'll cut the cross member, do all the pipe bending, we'll do all the fab, strip the cross member, and fit all these risers and everything, and we should have a complete R230 swap, R33 or R34 cross member. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you out and about.